Hello again, I'm Paul Maxwell, Luxury Watch Specialist at WatchPilot, and welcome once again to another Swiss watch review. Today we're doing something different. I'm comparing a couple of watches from two very different Swiss brands, Certina and Roamer. However, I'm not comparing them to each other, but against some very similar looking watches from the Swiss giant Rolex. Do you really need to spend £35,000 to get an incredible luxury watch? Let's find out. But first, hit the subscribe button and we'll keep you in the loop with all our new watch reviews and features. To begin with, we're going to look at the Certina Gents DS Action Diver Special Edition versus the Rolex Bimetal Submariner. Starting with the obvious visual similarities, Certina is slightly smaller in size with a case diameter of 38mm in comparison to the Rolex 41mm. Depending on your wrist size, I think this makes it slightly more wearable. And the case and shoulders are also larger on the Submariner. Both watches have a protected screw-down crown, vivid blue dial and a unidirectional bezel.
What's a unidirectional bezel, Paul?
That's a good question, Nick. It allows the bezel only to be rotated in one direction. It's often seen on divers' watches. You rotate the bezel marker so that it lines up with the minute hand, which means at a glance you can see how long you've been underwater for. As it only rotates in one direction, if it gets knocked it will only ever lengthen the dive time, so you're never underwater less than you thought. In fairness, the Submariner's bezel is set into an 18-karat gold ring and has a Cerachrome insert specially created by Rolex. This Cerachrome insert is virtually scratch-proof, so that the watch will look new for longer. Certina, on the other hand, use an aluminium insert, which will wear naturally over time. They both have clear, oversized hour, minute and second hands, and a date window, all viewed under a tough, scratch-resistant sapphire crystal glass, although the Rolex has the iconic Cyclops lens in place over the date. This magnifies the date, making it much easier to read. Although the centre link of the Certina bracelet is gold-coloured, this is of course a plating, as opposed to the Submariner's solid 18-karat gold yellow links, described by Rolex as roller saw to avoid any hallmarking issues. So on the features and tech spec front, if you spin the watch over, you can see both have a stainless steel screw down back to ensure water resistance to 300 metres and a secure stainless steel folding clasp. Inside both have Swiss automatic movements, the Certina offering a unique 80-hour power reserve when fully wound compared to the Rolex's 48 hours. Timekeeping? Pretty much on par despite the Rolex being COSC certificated. This stands for Contrôle Officiel Suisse de Chronomètre and means the movement has been independently tested by timekeeping and must fall into certain parameters to get that certificate. Both brands have a rich watchmaking heritage, Certina going back over 130 years and Rolex not too far behind them. Both brands offer a full 2 years guarantee. So let's talk about pricing. Well, as you'd expect, the Certina comes in at significantly less than the Rolex, at £785, while the Submariner costs £13,150, if you can get hold of one, of course. Worth the extra £12,365? Well, that's subjective. Is the Rolex brand equity worth paying for? Let us know in the comments below what you think. Next up for me to play devil's advocate with are Roamer's rose gold plated Primeline 2 bracelet watch against Rolex's 18-karat Ever Rose Daydate. The Roamer's case is a touch larger at 42mm compared to the Rolex's 40mm. They're both visually striking with their rich chocolate brown dials encircled by a fluted bezel. Again, Roamer's rose gold plated case is up against the 18-karat Ever Rose from Rolex, which automatically looks and feels more luxurious, smoother and much weightier. A day window at the 12 and date at the 3 are on both, but this time the Roamer also has a magnifying lens over the date. In regard to the tech spec, again, both have Swiss automatic movements, with the Rolex having a 70-hour power reserve as opposed to Roamer's 30 hours. Screw down crowns on both give water resistance to 100 metres for the Rolex and 50 metres for the Roamer. Still, not a watch you'd think of swimming in or diving. Rolex give their Daydate a 2-year international warranty. Well, this is trumped by Roamer, who give the Primeline an unprecedented 7 years guarantee. Finally, the price. The Primeline from Roamer comes in at £725, whereas the Rolex will set you back around £35,000. So this review is of course slightly tongue-in-cheek. After all, you can't compare a Jaguar to a Bentley. Both look good and will get you from A to B very nicely. Essentially, if you buy into the Rolex brand ethos and you can afford it, you'll probably buy it. However, if you like the look and the style of the Rolex but just can't justify the kind of expenditure on a watch, then the Certina and Roamer are perfect stand-ins. Both have authentic Swiss heritage and many similarities technically and visually compared to the Rolex. Goes without saying that they represent superb value for money. You can view and purchase both the Roamer and the Certina on our website www.watchpilot.com or check them out in person at our London-based Richmond store. Well, that's it for today. I've really enjoyed making this comparison video and I hope you've liked it too. If you have any questions, you can message us on the Q&A section of the website or leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.